Hi, my name is Kamila. I'm from Azerbaijan and I'm a native Russian speaker. In these videos, I will teach you how to speak Russian with the speaking practice and with grammar. Today we will start with grammar. I will divide every rule into 2 or 3 levels. A for beginners, B for intermediate level, and C for advanced speakers. In purpose not to confuse you, not to fool your brain with the all information possible, I will give you only appropriate information for the level you are learning now. So, if you are a beginner, today's rule is for you. In Russian, we have 3 genders: feminine, masculine, and neuter. And what I have to say that logic and the meaning of these words not always help you to determine the gender of the word in Russian. What I mean? For example, when you hear mom, daughter, girl, sister, by logic you can guess that these words are feminine. Or when you hear dad, or maybe brother, grandpa, by logic you can guess that these words are masculine. But what about the word maybe t-shirt, or maybe house, or maybe apple? The logic will not help you in this case, because women and men can live in the house, women and men can wear the t-shirt and eat the apple. So not any logic that will direct you toward any gender. So you can determine the gender of these words only by their endings, not by their meanings. And most of the words you determine by endings, not by the meaning. What are these endings? For example, for feminine gender, these endings are letter A or letter Ya. If you see these letters at the end of the word, so you can determine that this word is feminine gender. For example, as we said, mama, сестра, бабушка, you determine them to the feminine gender not only because they are women, but because they end with the letter A. Or any other words, like we said car, for example, машина, or we can say, for example, кошка, or we can say, for example, квартира, where logic doesn't help us, but we just see the last letter A. Or let's take some words with the letter Ya, for example, няня, for example, тетя, for example, капля. Those are also feminine words because they end with the letter A and the letter Ya. I will continue with the neuter gender because here we also have just 2 endings, 2 letters, letter O and letter Y at the end of these words. So if you see these letters, you'll know that this gender is neuter. For example, яблоко, яблоко, окно, море, платье. So it's not very hard to determine the gender of these words. You see letter O and you see letter Y at the end of these words, and you don't think about the meaning, the translation of these words. You just see these letters and know that their gender is neuter. And now, what about the masculine gender? I put it at the end because they end with the consonant. But if you in Russian cannot differ the consonant and vowels, it's not a problem, because to say shirt if you don't see at the end of the word the letters a, ya, o, ye, so this is masculine. Very easy, even if you don't know the all consonants. For example, dom, for example, kot, for example, компьютер, телефон, стол, стул. At the end of all these words, there are consonants. You don't see any letters like a, ya, o, ye, so they're masculine. This was the basic, very basic rule about gender of the words of the nouns in Russian. Of course, there are many other points we should say about it, but as I said, for A level, it is enough. Maybe you just should know some exceptions which are easy for A level. They are papa, дядя, дедушка, мужчина, which ends with the a. But there are exceptions because they refer to the man. So there are too few words where logic helps us to determine the gender in Russian, and these are such words: папа, дядя, дедушка, мужчина. Despite their ends with the letter a, we refer them to the masculine gender because they're all men. And that's all. For the A level, it's enough to know this information about the gender in Russian language. And now, try to determine the gender of these words in Russian and write your answer in the comments. Удачи вам!